Yo guys, what's going on? My name is Eclihpse and today I am back with some more Clash Royale, and in today's video I am going to be showcasing this new deck which I have been using recently, and this deck is probably the best deck I've ever used in this game at all. So my friend Ruthless Barbarian sent me this deck, so shout out to you. And now let's go over to a picture of the deck and I'll explain every card, and then I'll show a few replays like when I encountered a spawner, a mortar user, and then just like the casual battle which I usually find. And with this deck I think I played about 10 battles without losing, and I did have a few ties in there, but I didn't lose any trophies using this deck at all. In the background I'll just have a raid playing of me using this deck, but right now I want to take the time and just go through all of the cards and the basic mechanics real quick. So the first card we have is the Elixir Collector, and the Elixir Collector is a pretty basic card, but if the enemy doesn't take it out, sometimes you can have up to like 3 to 4 collectors out at once, and this is just going to allow you to keep on cycling through your cards. After the Collector we have the basic Spear Goblins, and these two cards are pretty basic like I said. Spear Goblins, again, I don't feel like they need too much of an explanation, but let's continue moving on forward. After that I have the Hog Rider and the Baby Dragon, and I really like to use these two cards like together. If you send the Baby Dragon and the Hog Rider down the same lane, the Baby Dragon can clear out any of the troops the other like player places, and then you can have the Hog Rider just pounding on a tower. Not to mention the Baby Dragon has a pretty good amount of health, so these two cards right here are like the backbone to pushing, but of course we have a few more tricks up our sleeves. The final main card of this deck is the Minion Horde, and again, the Minion Horde just does so much damage, and if the user doesn't have arrows, a fireball, or just anything to take those out, they will just go to town, destroy all of the enemy troops, and they're just like a very helpful card for defending or even pushing if like the user can't take them out in time. The next card we have on this list is the Bomb Tower, and the Bomb Tower has to be the world's most hated defense in this game. The Bomb Tower absolutely pisses me off, and that's why I love it. The Bomb Tower itself can single-handedly defend a spawner deck, and it's like freaking magic. I love it. Bomb Tower, overpowered and amazing. And the final two cards we have are the Fireball and the Rocket. The Fireball is more so if your Bomb Tower isn't ready, or if there's just like a huge group of troops, and of course the Rocket's meant for rocketing towers if you're screwed, or of course if the user places like an Elixir Collector next to a tower, you can rocket that, or of course you could just be like a skeezy scumbag and just keep rocketing tower after tower after tower, and of course like you guys can choose how you want to play. But now that we have all of these cards ran through, let's hop into a replay with the spawner deck. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be speeding up this replay by 2, just because I don't want this video to drag on and on and on and be very slow paced, but let's just kind of get right into it. Now in this raid right here, I didn't actually have the rocket yet, and I actually tied this guy because I didn't have my rocket. If I would have had, you know, the rocket instead of the goblins, this would have been an easy win, but still nonetheless, I just figured I would show you guys how effective this bomb tower is. Also, I understand this guy's a level 7 and I'm a level 8, but what else do you expect from lower levels up high? All of them usually use spawners or mortars, and since I didn't lose, even though I didn't win, I didn't lose, so I'm going to consider this a win. Now right here, he's just placing his troops, and to be honest, I was trying to push this guy, but eventually he caught on to what I was doing and he just spawned me out, and you'll see what I mean in a minute here. But just look at my bomb tower. The bomb tower literally just keeps screwing up all of his troops. The bomb tower is absolutely overpowered, and I know I wasted a fireball there, but still not a big deal. The bomb tower is amazing. Now right here I have that Baby Dragon rush I was talking about, and the Baby Dragon just took out all of his troops and almost got a few hits off on the tower, but still the Baby Dragon with the Hog is a great combo nonetheless. Now right here he tries pushing me, but I have the bomb tower. He basically went nowhere. Weird. Oh my god, I can't talk. But continuing on, we're still pushing this guy. We're not giving up, and like I said, if I had the rocket, I could be rocketing his tower right now and winning, and I don't generally generally, you know, recommend only rocketing, but if players like this want to play like a scumbag, you best bet I'm gonna play like a scumbag right back. Now right here, this is when he starts like annoying me. He just has so many spawners on the tower I'm attacking, and I don't want to go to the other tower because that still has like full health, so I'm just gonna continue pushing that tower, and that is not a good idea at all. But if I had the rocket right now, I'd be able to rocket his spawner and the tower, and that would be like an amazing trade for me. But of course, like I said, I forgot the rocket in that deck, and since I didn't have the rocket, that resulted in this being a tie. Getting into the next attack I want to feature, this is against a mortar deck, and I don't want this video just to be about like destroying spawners and mortars, but I just figured I would speed these two up just to show you guys that it can defend against this. So I will be speeding this replay up as well, and then I'll go into a serious attack and analyze everything I do more like in depth, I guess. And again, another level 7, and this just further supports my theory that lower levels play like straight scumbags. But to be honest, in this raid I played like a scumbag right back because I won by mortaring his tower. Basically, you have enough stuff to counter the mortar, you have enough stuff to counter spawners, where you can just solely rely on the rocket and a bit of pushing in case you encounter someone who plays like a scumbag, because scumbag players are the worst players. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, well, aren't you a scumbag for using the rocket, or aren't you a scumbag for using the bomb tower? And yes, I am, but it's not about me, because when you play the game, you're not a scumbag, only your opponent can be a scumbag. That's, you know, a fact right there. But continuing on, this raid is still going very slowly because, like I said, this guy was just using a mortar. So what I eventually started doing was just placing buildings in front of my tower, so that way his mortar would get distracted and then his mortar wouldn't be able to do anything. Right there, I tried to fireball that baby dragon. It completely screwed up, but this dumbass deployed the mortar right on the tower, so I just sent a rocket over there, and already he hasn't like got any hits off on my tower, and I've just been rocketing his tower. So if you encounter a mortar or a spawner user, just know you have the bomb tower and the rocket, and that should basically set you up for any situation you're in. And to be honest, it's definitely scummy, but as long as you're winning, I guess that doesn't matter too much. Maybe to an extent. Again, right here, a failed counter. I was hoping I could distract his hog, but no, his hog ended up getting a few hits off, and right now we pushed overtime. The raid is about to end soon. I just need a few more rockets and we should be good. Here goes the first rocket. As you can see, I'm about to fire that off, and now I realize, okay, all I have to do is defend, wait till I get another rocket, and I'll be good to go. As you saw throughout this whole raid, his mortar did not touch me once. Also, one thing I would like to say real quickly, if you guys like regular raids, not sped up at all, please let me know, but I figured I would speed these up just so I could, you know, convey what I wanted to say. Now we are going into a serious battle, and this battle isn't going to be sped up at all. In fact, I'm just going to leave this normal speed just so I can show you guys what I'm thinking. Now at the start of, you know, battles, normally I prefer to have an elixir collector, but if I don't, sometimes I'll just throw some spear goblins up and they can generally get a few hits off, and in this case they did, and I ended up getting a couple hundred hits right off the bat, so that right there was definitely helpful. Now right here, this guy places a poison spell, so I'm just going to notice he has that, nothing too special, and then he placed an elixir collector. I had a rocket, so I just decided to rocket the collector and do some damage to the tower. It's kind of like an even trade. I got a couple hundred hits off and he doesn't get his collector anymore. So now he's deployed his golem, and I have the minion horde. The minion horde should easily be able to counter the golem, but the problem is the golem is so slow, so I have to wait for it to get across the map. So right here, it's about to cross the bridge, so I throw down that minion horde, and now I wish I had the bomb tower, because then I can carry off the golem to like the right half of the map more, but still the baby dragon and the minions just go in. He gets like no hits off on my tower, and we're still in pretty good shape. One thing I noticed about this guy, however, he did not have arrows. He only had the poison spell, and the poison spell can be avoided very easily. Right now, there's about a minute and a half left, and this person makes another stupid mistake. I rocketed the collector once, and she places it right behind the tower, so I just sent another rocket over, did a couple hundred damage to the arena tower, and I took out the collector in the process. And again, I'm just trying to decide what I want to do, and what I usually do is I'll have two fingers on my my screen, and I'll deploy the Hog Rider and the Baby Dragon at the same time. But since the Baby Dragon has a bit more health, it might be a smarter idea to deploy like the Baby Dragon a second earlier, but still, nonetheless, I get a couple hundred hits off, and I realize I just have to defend for a minute and I can rocket his tower to win. And right here, I'm just trying my hardest not to let him get to my half at all. I realize, okay, I'm at 10 elixir, I'll throw some goblins down in the back, and still, I'm just going through so much elixir right now, I have to keep cycling through my stuff. And since he deployed a golem on the left, and the golem takes a long time, I just said YOLO. I threw a Hog Rider on the right side, but that really didn't do anything. And now right here, here's where the minion horde just does so much work. Now he has a poison spell, but since the minion horde just does so much damage, that golem basically goes down instantly, and the minion horde did a great amount of damage. And again, I throw the baby dragon down, and since the baby dragon does splash damage, it is pretty much game over at this point. I'm pushing his tower, I have a rocket and a fireball in my hand. This dude is pretty much screwed, so I throw the rocket down, and good game to Gracie. And there we go, we ended up winning a decent amount of trophies from that. And guys, there you go, this is my new deck. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If this deck works for you guys, let me know down in the comment section below. If we can break 1,000 likes on this video, that would be appreciated. So guys, this has been Eclihpse. Again, hopefully you all enjoyed, and peace out.